welcome back. Lafayette goes to 1-10. LaSalle off to a good start. They're at 8-2. And right now, Mike Ventola is with head coach Mike McGarvey. Kind of talk this one out. Here's Mike.
Well, Coach, first and foremost, obviously your team played really hard out there today, especially there in the first half. What do you think that you had the opportunity to kind of see things kind of pull away from you there in the early part of the second half?
Three-point shooting from LaSalle. I mean, their three-point shooting really traveled. You give up in the second half 9 three-point shots, 45%. I think that was the biggest difference. First half we turned it over a little bit. If you look at the box score, they had 18 points off of our turnovers. And I think we're going to look at a lot of missed layups that converted on our end that converted for points at LaSalle's end, or a missed wide open three that then converted on LaSalle's end. And those kind of ODO, offense situations probably put us in a little bit of a hole. But to your point, I am proud of our effort. We continue to battle, we continue to fight despite the losses.
Coach, another area, too, where, of course, I'm sure you're a little pleased. I know it's hard to find anything in a moral victory in a game like this, was your rebounding. It looked like your team was all over the glass today, getting more rebounds than LaSalle across the way. Do you feel like that's something you guys can build upon moving forward?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think, when you're playing an Atlantic 10 level team, you've got to be able to rebound and try to get possessions in that way. We gave up a little bit too open jump shots that didn't result in defensive rebounds. They went in tonight for LaSalle, or this afternoon. But I think as that translates to the Patriot League in a month or so, if we're continuing to be on the glass, if we're gaining possessions like that, if we find a way to make our layups and make our open shots, I think it could provide to be pretty good for us.
12 days off now before Quinnipiac takes the floor here at Kirby Sports Center. A lot, I'm sure, for these guys to go over between now and then, but are you looking forward to this little break before Quinnipiac rolls in?
Yeah, we need an opportunity to practice a little bit more. We've gone through a stretch here where we played a lot of games in the last 2.5 weeks. The guys have finals going on now this week, so there's a lot of things going on academically as well. But we need to hit a little bit of reset. We need to get better in some areas, and then hopefully we can hit a run here when we get into January.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck.
Thanks.
All right, that's head coach Mike McGarvey. Gary, John, back to you guys.
All right, Michael, thank you. Very good job today by Mike Ventola on the sidelines. So, John, as we take a look at the highlights, and then we'll finish this one up, and we'll get ready for final exams.
Yeah, well, maybe you. Lafayette got off to a nice start, Gary. They were down 4 at halftime. Sonberg finds Jenkins off the dribble drive. But you heard Coach McGarvey talk about LaSalle's ability to drop down threes. That was Brickus downtown. That's Brantley going hard to the basket. Brickus and Brantley are two explosive guards. And then, Gill going to the basket hard. There's Rabayo. Lafayette had a total of 6 block shots this game. They defended better in the first half, but boy, Marrero, when he got it going, Gary, he was en fuego. He basically single-handedly created space between the Explorers and the Leopards in the second half. Eric Sonberg with 3 of his 13 for the afternoon. But again, the downtown shooting, Brickus again, from deep. He hit one in the second half. We'll see. That's a nice left-handed move from Kyle Jenkins to the bucket. But you're going to see Brickus in a little while. This is Marrero from the corner. He hit 3 straight from that very spot. That was a 4-pointer. And this, again, they move the ball so effectively. That's not a replay. That's a different shot. But you see them sharing the basketball so effectively against Sonberg off that little set play, little down screen, pops out. When Eric can catch it and shoot it, he's unstoppable. Watch this one. Now, this is not fair. This is like from the A of the logo at midcourt. And I remember in the old days, Dolph Shays used to shoot that one with 2 hands. And that was Fasasi shooting that one. That might have been the highlight of the week. Let's look for that one on ESPN for plays of the week. There's the freshman Mark Butler. Like to see him becoming more and more aggressive offensively. And then, of course, the other freshman, that's Josh Weish with the steal and the flush at the other end. But, Gary, in the end, you heard Mike McGarvey talk about it. This is an A-10 level team, well coached, incredible talent. And they had all the answers for the Leopards this afternoon.
Well, the difference, they were 9 for 20 in the second half shooting from beyond the arc. We were 2 for 11. That's 18% versus 45%. And as you take a look at the team numbers, we rebounded well. John, we just missed too many easy shots right around the rim that just would not drop.
And you get the sense, you heard Mike McGarvey allude to that, Gary, at least 12, certainly double figures. But you start looking for those quick guys. I mean, LaSalle is so pesky defensively, and you start you start hesitating, those easy shots become more difficult. There you see some of the individual numbers.
Yeah, Marrero with a career-high 20 points in the ball game. Sonberg with 13, and also Kyle Jenkins with a dozen. On the other side, Shepard had 11 and 14 points for Brickus as LaSalle just took charge again, and we've said it kind of all year long. Lafayette has those lulls where they just don't put the ball in the basket, and they tend to cost them ball games by the very end.
Yeah, the game is 40 minutes long, and over, Lafayette plays 30 to 35 minutes. They're right there, and then something bad happens. But tonight, I think it was more a measure of the quality of the opponent. I mean, you knew that LaSalle was good at shooting the basketball. They did not shoot well in the first half. Those guards get in the lane, Gary, and it's the equivalent of having a great passing center when you throw him the ball and he can kick it back out. Your good shooters have the opportunity to step into their shot, not floating, not drifting, and the percentages caught up with the Leopards in the second half.
Well, before the women go to finals, they'll play here on Monday night at 6 o'clock against Monmouth. We'll have that game for you. John will be here. I'll be here. John Sabino and his whole crew will be here. And a special thanks today for Kylie pushing buttons for the first time today. So maybe she'll be back also. But for today, Lafayette loses the ball game by a 67-51 score. We thank you so much for spending time with us. For all of us, I'm Gary Laubach. Goodbye, everybody.